everyone, I'm Charlotte from Youga and today I'm going to be taking you through a simple little seated set of movements. Okay, so these can be easily done in your lunch break or if in the afternoon if you're feeling a little bit stiff of sitting at your desk all day. Okay, so just as you are, just in your uniform, your work uniform, your normal clothes, or as most of us are at the moment, in your loungewear, in your pyjamas. Alright, so just taking a little shuffle back. You don't need any equipment or anything, but just be careful if you are on a computer chair with wheels. Just be sure that you're grounding your feet all the time so that you don't fall or slip about the place. Okay, so we'll get started sitting up nice and tall. So just moving a little bit to the edge of the seat as well, so you've got that space, lengthening the spine and taking a roll backwards of your shoulders. So just resting your hands nice and lightly, and then we're going to take a little turn from one side and to the other with your head. So not too much movement, but just trying to keep the body completely still so it's not a twist through the whole of the body. It's just simply moving your head from one side and then the other. So bringing that back to the centre, we're then going to tip it so it's one ear down, pushing towards your shoulder, getting that nice stretch up the side of your neck. So especially if we've been sitting all day, we want to relieve this tension in your neck and in your shoulders. Then coming back up to the top, and we're going to take that down so the chin comes into the chest. Then bringing yourself back up and very, very carefully start to look up. So we're taking that head backwards, but only as far as feels completely comfortable for our neck there. If you do need a little bit of support, if that's sort of pulling on your neck a little bit, you can bring your hands up, cradling the back of the head, so interlocking those fingers as you take it backwards, so that your head is pressing into the hands. Lovely, then bring that back up, and if your hands were up, bring them down. So we're just going to start with some little shoulder rolls. So moving backwards through the shoulders, just loosening them up as you really draw the shoulders right up to the ears. Again, staying nice and still and nice and tall through the body. And then changing direction, bringing those forwards. And then just giving them a loosen, a little shake out. So from here we're going to bring our arms out nice and wide. So bringing them just at your shoulder height. Then we're going to take an inhale first. And with your exhale, we're going to start and squeeze backwards. So really squeezing into those arms, pulling them back and feeling the shoulder blades move and fold together. Then release that off as you come forwards. And then take that again. So inhale. And then exhale as you pull it back. So what I want you to think of there is not sticking forwards with the chest and not sticking forwards with the chin. So still keeping everything nice and tall, and it's the arms that pull backwards. And then bring it back in and let that go. So just feel that in your neck maybe as well. Just releasing those shoulders after that stretch there. Wonderful. So we're going to sit ourselves up nice and tall again. And then this time we're going to move into a side stretch. So what you can do is reach down, and depending on the shape of your chair, maybe you've got these crossbars from one leg to the other. So if you have, just have a little reach down, see if you can get hold and use that to just help pull you over to one side. So try not to lean over, it's just a nice big stretch for this other side here. If that's not enough, then you can bring your arm up. So one arm up, one arm over. Nice big stretch through the body. Really opening up through the side. And then lift. And bring your arm down. Lovely. So taking that over to the other side, choosing if you want to go straight up with that arm, resting if you can on that crossbar, so you can just take the weight into that leg of the chair, reaching yourself over. If it hasn't got crossbars, if it's like a moulded seat or it's a computer chair with a column in the middle, then you can just reach down to the floor there, so just reaching the fingers to the ground. Wonderful, so bring that back up, so feeling that just above the hips there, and then we're going to work into the shoulders a little bit more. So sweeping one arm up, so bring it right up, and then bend at the elbow. We take now our other hand to get hold of that elbow and just giving it a little push backwards. So we're aiming for this hand to come down between the centre of the shoulder blades, right up and over the neck. Really stretching the arm and stretching the shoulders. And then let that go and bring your other side up. So up, over, bend, take hold, and then give it a nice big push back. So just really thinking of these little simple stretches that you can fit in throughout the day, just relieving this tension, just loosening up a little bit and getting the body moving. So let that go, and again just a little shake out through the arms. Okay, so we're going to move into a little twist here. So we're going to take one arm up and over, so taking that over the top of the chair, and then reaching around with this hand. So you can either take hold of the base of the seat of the chair, or if you can take hold of the back of the chair. So it just depends how your spine's feeling, and then we're going to pull and take that little twist around. So again, try not to let the legs swing, try not to swing with the body, it's only the twist through the upper body, through the spine. If you can, look over your shoulder as well, so that'll be a nice twist through your neck. And then bringing it back to the middle, letting your arms go as you switch over to the other side. So up and over with that back hand, hooking it on the back of the chair, and then taking that little twist. Again, keeping the legs completely in the centre. So if it is again comfortable for your neck, then look over that back shoulder. And then releasing the arms as you bring it back. Alright, so we're going to get into our back a little bit now. So I'll show you this from the side. So we're going to hook our hands onto our knees, so just keeping those feet grounded again, hooking the hands, and then we're going to push the chest up and forwards as we look up to the sky, and then curl as you lean backwards. So really hold onto your knees so you can lean yourself backwards, curl in the back and drop in the chin. So doing that again, this time we're going to add some breath. So take an inhale as you lift, looking up, and use your exhale to bring yourself back down. So curl and spread those shoulder blades, and then take that inhale as you come back up. So if you are still in the office, some people are in the office, and you've got these beautiful, ugly strip lights here, just try and ignore the light. Maybe you can close your eyes as you look up. It is quite glary, quite bright. Or maybe you can pretend it's the light coming from the sun, from a big, beautiful blue sky. Whatever you need to just switch yourself off, switch your mind off, and imagine you're somewhere else. Just for 10 minutes. Might do you the world of good. So then bringing yourself back up to the centre, and then we're going to move into more of a back bend here. So just be careful, just go careful on your back. As I said, it is it's stiff, it's tight off sitting all day, or maybe you're sort of hunching over and things like that. So we're just going to take it backwards to get rid of that, so get stretch in there. Alright, so we're going to shuffle ourselves backwards. Again, this depends on your chair, so be very careful of your wheelie chair, and just dependent on the height of it, but this is going to give you the support. So we're going to lean ourselves backwards, just wriggle our shoulders into place, and then we're going to sweep up the arms. So sweep those arms up nice and high, and then we're going to push the chest and lean right up and over the top of that chair there. So feeling fully supported for your shoulders, but moving into this lovely back bend. The more you can push the stomach forwards, the more you can rest the shoulders in the back of the chair, the more you can get that back bend. And then slowly lift it up. So again, just being really careful with movements like this, especially if it's a lightweight chair, just making sure it doesn't tip over. Okay? So we're going to come and stretch our legs now. So working all the way through from head, shoulders, back, down into our legs now. So we're just going to stick out one foot and then pull the toes up. So pulling those toes of the foot, hold on if you like to the back of the chair, but try not to lean yourself backwards. So we want our core locked in, nice and tight, getting our core working, our hip working, and the leg stretching down the leg there. Okay, so pulling those toes in, just feeling that already. And then we're going to take a breath in, and with your exhale, we're going to lift that up. So feel that strength in the hip band there, in the hip flexor. Get that leg lifted, breathing at the same time. Always a tricky bit, don't forget that. Breathe, nice and calm, and then let that go. Lovely, so maybe it needs a little shake out through the hip, but then we're just going to switch over. So set that foot, stretch it out. Taking that stretch by pulling the toes. So nice big stretch for that leg first. Feels lovely behind that knee. Maybe it's screaming at you after being sat still all day. Just getting a little bit stretch, lengthening those hamstrings. So taking an inhale and then exhale as you lift. So again, try not to lean back. We want the core working, get everything working just for a moment. Breathe. And then let it go. Lovely, good. Whew. Brilliant. So we're going to switch our legs, we're going to cross it over. So we're going to go back to that first leg and lifting it up. So we're just pressing that leg across the knee and just watching the position of this knee. So we're going to just rest down. So this is, it's definitely ideal if you're in the office for this one. You can just pretend that you're not doing anything, you're just having a bit lounge about, but actually it's working into this hip. So just pressing that knee, leaning the body forwards, just seeing what it feels like in the hip. It's just nice and relaxed through that upper back and through your shoulders. So just applying as much pressure as you need here, just to loosen that hip, and then lift it. And we'll switch over. So just crossing the other leg, resting the elbow. Just a nice moment to do nothing. Just sit still, enjoying that stretch. And then lifting it back up to the top. And we're going to come up onto our feet. So if you need a little wriggle through the hips, a little shake of the legs, then by all means you can. Okay, so just for this next bit, you might want to kick the shoes off because we're going to lift our foot up onto the chair. So just thinking about that, if you don't want your dirty shoes on top of the chair there. So we're going to lift and then press into the hip. So just taking the weight forwards, making sure again that you secure through the chair, just pushing into the hips, feeling that nice big stretch down the front of the leg. Lovely, and then lift and switch it over. So pressing forwards again, nice big lunge, trying to sit that body backwards rather than just slumping down onto the top of your leg. Working a little bit with your balance as well. Just keeping upright and still. Wonderful, then lift. And then we're going to come to our desk. So this could be your table, your countertop, like in the kitchen, just whatever you've got, whatever you're working on. And we're going to lean ourselves forward. So just taking the feet apart, we're going to lean ourselves so that we can stretch out with the hands. So if you feel like your table is a little bit too low, then by all means come up to the back of the chair. Okay, so just stretching those hands out just as far as they're going to go forwards, dropping the head in between the arms and just feeling this wonderful stretch right down the back. So if that's not enough, if you feel like you do want to go a little bit more, what you can do is press the armpits, so you can start and push those armpits down to the floor, creating this little curve in the back and curve into the shoulders, and this feels really lovely to get into those shoulders. Just again having a nice big stretch off. A little bit of a back bend here as well if you feel this curve running through the back. And then we're just going to bend the knees and slowly roll yourself back up. Okay, so bring yourself back down to sit. So these moves, I mean, you can learn them. They're not very hard to learn, so keep them in your memory. And then when you're just sitting, you can go through them, extend them, hold them for longer, take them a few more repetitions, just whatever you feel you need. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed that little session, and if you haven't already, give us a like on Facebook or Instagram, and I hope to see you next time for some more little videos. Okay, thank you, bye.